unlike you with just a high school diploma. The man I'm marrying is a college graduate and an elite. In high school, I became estranged from a beautiful classmate due to certain circumstances. I was invited to a wedding by a junior and ended up reuniting with that classmate. Thinking I was still just a high school graduate working some job, she said that to me as soon as we met again. "Maybe my husband will become your boss soon." She took the same condescending attitude towards me as she did back then, so I decided to tell her the truth. "Sorry, but I just fired him a little while ago." At the words I blurted out, her eyes widened, and then an unbelievable event struck us. My name is Ryan. I grew up in a very ordinary middle-class family, neither particularly wealthy nor poor. Raised in a family of 4 with my parents and a younger sister, I had a typical upbringing and, like many, loved superhero shows. I admired the way they helped people in trouble and wanted to be like them. So, I always tried to help friends in need, which I think made me a reliable person in my class. Ashley, who lived next door, and I have been close since we were young, and we played together often since we were classmates. Perhaps because of that, our families became close, often going on trips together. Ashley's family was much wealthier than mine, with her father running a company. Her mother was a stay-at-home mom. But both were very approachable, always saying, "Ryan, feel free to come over anytime." Since my parents both worked, I often hung out at Ashley's house or had dinner with them until my parents came home. I think Ashley's parents were very fond of us too. Ashley and I graduated from elementary and middle school together and went to the same high school. Our high school was one of the top in the state, and keeping up with studies was tough, but I enjoyed it, surrounded by good friends. As for Ashley, she debuted as a model. I was used to being around her since we were kids, so I didn't pay much attention, but she was actually a stunning beauty, often approached by scouts when out and about. There were rumors both inside and outside school that photos of her were highly sought after. With her debut in the entertainment industry as a model, Ashley quickly became popular in both school and among the public. Busy with work, she started skipping school, and we saw each other less and less. At that time, I was also busy with student council duties. Even when Ashley did come to school, she was always surrounded by people, so we couldn't talk much. Well, we were neighbors, so I didn't worry much since we could meet anytime. On Valentine's Day that year, I was behind the school building. "Ryan, I've liked you for a long time. Will you go out with me?" Olivia, a classmate, confessed to me. It was my first confession, and I was bewildered. I only talked to Olivia occasionally, and never imagined she felt that way about me. "Yes, if it's okay, please take this chocolate too." Olivia held a small paper bag. Looking inside, there was a beautifully wrapped package. "Can I open it?" "Of course, but it's homemade, so it might not be perfect." Inside were homemade chocolates. "This is homemade chocolate. You made this, Olivia. That's amazing." "Thank you." I thanked her, feeling grateful and flattered. "I don't know much about you, Olivia. Is that okay?" "Yes, I'd be happy if you get to know me more." Seeing her blush and say that, I found her genuinely cute, and we started dating. Being in the student council, I was quite well known around school. When word got out that I had a girlfriend, everyone started teasing me about finally being taken, but I didn't mind. Then, I saw Ashley in school. I think it had been about 2 weeks since I last saw her. "Hey, Ashley, long time no see." "Yes, it has been." I called out to her, but her response was cold. I was surprised by her aloof attitude, as I had never seen her react like that before. I didn't know how to respond, as I'd never experienced such a reaction from Ashley. "What's up? Are you in a bad mood, Ashley?" "Not at all." Ashley said that and just walked away. Usually, she would have said something like, "Ryan, it's been a while," and chatted for a bit. Well, Maybe she really was in a bad mood. She seemed busy lately. I convinced myself of that and headed to the student council room. A little later, I heard rumors that Ashley was harassing my girlfriend, Olivia. I hadn't seen it myself, but when I asked Olivia, she just smiled vaguely. This reaction, does it mean it's true? Thinking that if it was true, I had to ask Ashley to stop, so I decided to talk to her the next time I saw her. That day came sooner than expected, and I saw Ashley again in school. "Ashley, can I talk to you for a second?" "What is it?" I took Ashley aside in the hallway and faced her. She looked at me irritably. "Ashley, are you harassing Olivia?" "What are you talking about? I heard rumors you were giving my girlfriend, Olivia, a hard time. Please stop if you're doing that." "Ryan, you think I would do something like that?" "I don't think you would, but if you're doing something that could be misunderstood." "I haven't done anything." "I know, but you've been acting strange towards me lately." "Ryan, you don't understand anything." "What? You believe rumors over me, who's been with you all this time?" "Fine, think whatever you want." "What's that supposed to mean?" With that, Ashley turned her back on me and ran off. Since then, Ashley and I stopped talking to each other, and our relationship turned sour. Dad has debt. One day, suddenly, my dad was burdened with a large debt. Jer, my friend, skipped town. My name was on the loan as a guarantor, so now they're coming after us. I couldn't say anything more to my exhausted father. No wonder he had been coming home late recently. He had been working night shifts at a supermarket after his day job. My mom was also working an office job during the day and at a bar at night. At first, they didn't want to trouble us, so they kept the debt a secret, trying to pay it off themselves. But you know, day by day, they started coming home later and looked so worn out. So, my sister and I finally asked them, "What's happening? We want to know the truth." Finally, they decided to tell us. "I'll get a part-time job too," I said without hesitation. I couldn't let my parents struggle anymore. "But Ryan, your studies. Right now, this is more important. Let's work together and pay off the debt quickly." "I'm gonna get a part-time job too." My younger sister said this, but since she was still in middle school, it wasn't really practical for her to work. So our parents and I opposed the idea. "All right, I get it. Then, as soon as I graduate from middle school, I'll start working. I'll aim for a high school that allows part-time jobs," she declared determinedly. My parents and I were nearly moved to tears by her resolve. "I'm really sorry for being such an unreliable father." "What are you talking about? It's not your fault. Let's all work together and do our best," Mom encouraged. "Jer, let's give it our all, together." Our family gathered in a huddle, encouraging each other. Looking back, it was kind of a strange mood at the time, I think. And that's when I decided I wanted to become someone who could help people in trouble in times like these. I resolved to become a lawyer. The next day, I found a part-time job and began a busy life juggling school, student council, and work. Working all day on weekends, I had less and less time to spend with my girlfriend, Olivia. I felt bad about it, but paying off the debt was my top priority, so I just texted her, "Right now, there's something I need to prioritize over spending time with you." She replied, "I understand. Thank you for everything up until now." And so, we chose to go our separate ways. Even after that, I continued to live a whirlwind life, and before I knew it, I was almost in the summer of my senior year of high school. It was time to seriously decide on the college I wanted to attend. But I was really struggling with this decision. Since that day, I had set my sights on becoming a lawyer, but my dad's debt wasn't fully paid off yet. Could I really handle studying and working if I went to college now? Or should I wait until next year to go to college? Honestly, I can enroll in college anytime. So maybe shouldn't I first work right after high school and pay off all the debt before thinking about college? Yes, I should get a job first. With that in mind, I decided to talk to my high school career counselor the next day. I explained everything to the counselor without holding back and said I wanted to work. Got it. We'll try to find you a job with the best possible conditions. Let's work hard, the counselor encouraged. After talking to the counselor, I explained the same thing to my parents, and they understood my decision to work. Especially my dad, who said, "I'm really sorry, but this is a big help, thank you." In our top-ranking high school in the state, very few students opted for employment, and there were only 3 of us, including me, in the school's job seminar for those wanting to work. "Ryan, why are you choosing to work?" asked a classmate who was also looking to get a job. "I have my reasons," I said vaguely. I had no intention of revealing my dad's debt situation. That day, after school and my part-time job, I arrived home late at night to find someone calling out Ryan outside the house. There was Ashley, seemingly having rushed out of her house, wearing something like pajamas. "Hey, Ashley, what's up? Dressed like that? Never mind that. Is it true you're not going to college? That you'll work right after high school?" "Yeah, I'm going to work instead of college for now." "Why would you give up on college?" "It's not giving up, just choosing to work for now. But you won't earn as much as a college graduate if you work with just a high school diploma," Ashley interrupted. "With your grades, you could aim for a public university, even get a scholarship. Why make such a hasty decision to work? Are you running away from exams?" Her words just like that irked me. It wasn't a hasty decision. I had agonized over it and made a considered choice. Nor was it running away. I planned to go to college later, and I considered job hunting as challenging as college entrance exams. I didn't decide this easily. I really struggled before making this choice. "And it's none of your business, Ashley," I said somewhat dismissively. Ashley looked hurt by my response. "Oh, right. It's none of my business. Fine. I don't care anymore," she yelled and then went back to her house. After that, I successfully found employment at a local company. Ashley, meanwhile, got accepted into a prestigious university and became known as the beautiful model genius who got into a top university. 10 years have passed since then, and after going through various experiences, I managed to become a lawyer and now run my own private office. Finally finished with that big case. It was a challenging job, but I had managed to complete it successfully and was now back at my office. "I'm back. Mr. Thompson, you look tired. Glad to see you're still energetic, Ethan." Greeting me with high spirits was Ethan. He's a junior lawyer who followed me when I started my own law firm, saying, "Ryan, please take me with you. I want to work under you." He's a bright and energetic guy who looks up to me, so I'm quite fond of him. "Mr. Thompson, do you have a moment?" As I was tidying up some documents, Ethan approached me, more serious than usual. Usually, when he's like this, he's either broken some office equipment or upset a client. "What is it? Did you break another vase, or did you upset Bradley again? How many times have I told you not to call elderly clients old man?" "No, it's not that. Sure, Bradley did say to me, 'I find your attitude offensive. Don't ever appear before me again.' But that's not it." "Oh, he did say that." "Actually, well, I'm getting married," Ethan said nervously. "Wow, congratulations. I never expected my younger colleague Ethan to beat me to marriage, but it's genuinely a happy occasion. I've been single for nearly 10 years, so I can't help but feel a bit envious." "Is she the slightly older girlfriend you mentioned? You said she's really beautiful." "Yes, she's a former model and the daughter of a company president. We're planning a grand wedding, and I was wondering if you could give a speech, Mr. Thompson." "Of course, I'd be honored," I enthusiastically agreed, patting Ethan's shoulder. I knew Ethan had a girlfriend, but I remembered him saying, "She's way out of my league. Honestly, I'm struggling to keep up with her." As much as I care for my colleague, I don't like to meddle in his personal life, so I've always just responded with, That sounds tough. That day, I said to Ethan, "This is to celebrate your wedding," and took him out to a bar. We had a blast, eating and drinking a lot, all on me. Today, about 6 months later from that day, was the day of Ethan's wedding. There's something I've been aware of for a while now. I realized it when I received the wedding invitation from Ethan. His bride-to-be is someone I know. And about what's going to happen today. After arriving at the wedding venue and checking in, I encountered the bride as I walked around. "Ryan, it was you, after all." Ashley. Ethan's bride was none other than Ashley, my childhood friend. When Ethan handed me the wedding invitation, I was shocked to see a familiar name under the bride's side. I remembered Ethan mentioning his girlfriend was a slightly older former model and daughter of a business magnate. When I heard Ethan's boss's name, it sounded so familiar, I was surprised. Ashley said. "Me too." Ashley and I hadn't spoken or even seen each other since that day 10 years ago when she criticized my decision not to go to college. "By the way, Ryan, as Ethan's senior, does that mean you're a lawyer now?" "Jay, that's right." "How did someone like you, who just finished high school, become a lawyer?" "You didn't just claim it without any basis, right? You didn't, pay for your qualification, did you?" "No way. I passed the exam fair and square and have the proper qualifications. I run my own law office now, and Ethan works there too. It'd be ridiculous if I, the director, didn't have a law license." Ashley still seemed skeptical. "Unlike you, a high school graduate, my husband-to-be Ethan is a graduate from the same prestigious university as me, an elite with a college degree. Soon, he'll be the director of your office." Ashley looked down on me as she said that, but I decided to enlighten her about a future that wasn't going to happen. "Sorry, but as for Ethan, I just fired him from our office." At the words I blurted out, Ashley was dumbfounded. "What? And you two aren't officially married yet, right? You might want to reconsider that." Leaving Ashley stunned behind, I decided to head back to the venue. Ashley, now a retired model, was working as a secretary in her parents' company. She had invited many acquaintances from her modeling days to the wedding, making it quite a lively event. The wedding went off without a hitch, and Ashley and Ethan exchanged vows before God. Ashley looked stunning in her wedding dress, and Ethan was very dapper in his white tuxedo. With the wedding ceremony over, it was time for the reception. I was sitting at the reception venue, but the reception wasn't starting. The scheduled start time had already passed. The venue started to buzz with whispers, and guests began asking, "Has something happened?" The person who took the microphone was Ashley's father. He's a man I know quite well. "Ladies and gentlemen, I regret to inform you due to unforeseen circumstances, we have to cancel the reception. I apologize for the inconvenience. The meals prepared for today will be served, so please enjoy." After speaking quickly, he hurriedly left the venue. The sudden cancellation of the reception caused a stir among the guests, turning into quite a commotion. I quietly slipped out of the noisy venue and into the hallway. "Mr. Evans." "Ryan." There stood Ashley's father, looking utterly exhausted. "Ethan got arrested, didn't he?" At my words, he nodded. Ethan had been withdrawing extra money from client accounts and using it for himself. I first learned about it when a family member of one of Ethan's clients informed me. Ethan had been the guardian of several elderly clients without relatives, but one day, it turned out that one of these clients actually had a family. When the family wanted to take over financial management and asked for the bank book, Ethan was reluctant to hand it over and didn't show it. Suspicious, the family reported the bank book as lost and had it reissued, only to discover that the balance was clearly wrong. This person had been hospitalized several times, and each time, $10,000 was withdrawn as hospital fees. It was Ethan, acting as the legal guardian, who had been paying this to the hospital. I know that hospital fees rarely cost $10,000, which is an unusually high amount. The way the money was being used was suspicious, the family told me, and that's when I first became aware of the issue. To my embarrassment, I had been completely unaware of it. Following this, I investigated whether Ethan was doing something similar with other clients and discovered that he had done the same thing to 5 other clients. All of them were people for whom Ethan had been the legal guardian. When I confronted Ethan about it, he admitted everything. Yes, I did it. Can I hear the reason? I was gifting my girlfriend with luxury brands and gambling. Wasn't the salary we were paying you enough to live on? I could manage living on the salary, but I wanted to give gifts to keep my girlfriend with me. She was too good for me, Ethan continued, leaving me speechless. I had this conversation with him just a week before the wedding. Immediately, I filed a disciplinary request, explained the situation to the victims and their families, and apologized. I initially covered the lost money, but the victims' families, unwilling to forgive Ethan's actions, filed a complaint. The complaint was accepted, and Ethan was arrested right before the wedding reception. The reception was, of course, canceled and turned into a simple meal gathering. The engagement was annulled. Ethan's parents, as well as Ashley and her parents, were visibly shocked and devastated. I didn't know what to say to Ethan and just stood there, unable to find the words. This incident later became a huge news story, labeled as corrupt lawyer exploiting the adult guardianship system. Ethan, of course, was stripped of his lawyer's license. As an employee of my firm, this hit us hard, but I chose to sincerely support the victims and respond earnestly. As a result, my reputation didn't suffer too much. I really had no idea Ethan was doing something like that, Ashley said. Me neither, I was completely unaware, I replied. A few days later, Ashley visited my office. She came holding a bag filled with a large sum of money. Ashley handed it over to me. "What's all this money for?" I asked, surprised what was inside. Ashley began to speak, looking apologetic. "This is from selling all the brand name gifts Ethan gave me. It's not the original price, but it should be a considerable amount. And since this money was taken from the victims without their consent, I want to repay at least the portion I received." "All right, I'll accept it," I said, choosing to take the bag, understanding Ashley's sentiment. "I heard that Ethan got involved in this mess because he was trying to keep up with me. Could you tell the victims that I'm sorry?" "Yeah, I'll be meeting with them again soon for work, so I'll pass on your message," I promised. "By the way, how did you become a lawyer, Ryan? Weren't you just a high school graduate?" "Well, about that. I decided to tell Ashley about the time when we had lost touch. I had decided to work after high school graduation because I knew I could always enroll in college later. However, I still considered the need to study to become a lawyer. I thought that obtaining a legal qualification beforehand would make it easier to enter law school. Believing that I could achieve this from distance learning while working, I decided to first obtain a paralegal certification. With this qualification, I could take the bar exam without attending law school if I passed a preliminary exam. So, I worked at a local company while studying hard and eventually obtained my paralegal certification for correspondence courses. Immediately after, I switched jobs to become a paralegal, gained practical experience, and studied relentlessly to pass the bar exam. I may say so myself, but I passed the bar exam at an unprecedented speed, completed my legal apprenticeship, passed the judicial examination, and finally achieved my dream of becoming a lawyer. I then landed a job at a major law firm, and my career as a lawyer began. By that time, my father's debt had been reduced to a small amount, and as a result of our family's combined efforts, it was fully repaid. We also claimed overpayment. So that's why Ethan used to say, "Ryan is a star in this industry, famous for becoming a lawyer at an incredible speed." Ashley murmured, nodding as if she understood after hearing my story. I had met Ethan at the first law firm where I worked as a lawyer. We were close in age and often worked together. He always smiled and said, "I dream of being as smart and efficient in my work as you, Ryan. I want to be a lawyer like you." Remembering this, I felt somewhat melancholic. He then got himself into this trouble because he was trying too hard to match up with Ashley and ended up in over his head. "I guess I was really out of her league," Ethan said with a sad smile, a memory that came back to me. Since then, Ashley and I started to keep in touch, and we occasionally went out for meals. Our conversations were mostly about our recent updates and memories from our high school days. "I didn't know your father had become a guarantor for a loan. If you had told me, maybe my father could have helped. There's no way I could have asked your family for that. Even if they had lent us money, we would have made sure to pay it back in full," I replied. "Yeah, your family was always very honest," Ashley said with a smile. "You know, becoming a model was your idea," she revealed. "Really? At the high school festival, remember the fashion show where the home economics club made outfits? You saw me in one of those outfits and said, 'Ashley, you really look like a model. It suits you so well. Maybe this glamorous world is meant for you.' That's why I decided to give modeling a try." I don't remember that at all, I thought, but I figured Ashley probably realized I didn't remember. "And about the rumor that I harassed your girlfriend in high school, that was completely false." "Oh, right, that rumor. So it was false. Rather, it was that girlfriend, Olivia, right? She was the one spreading lies that I was harassing her." "What, really?" I was shocked by this revelation. Olivia never seemed like the type to do such a thing. I heard later that she spread those rumors because she was worried about losing you to me, your childhood friend. She lied about me harassing her. After all, I was so busy with work back then, I barely came to school. How could I have harassed her enough to start such rumors? That made sense when she put it that way. "Well, women can be scary. I was most hurt and sad that you didn't believe me back then," Ashley said with a sad smile. "I'm sorry about that time." "It's okay. It's all in the past," she said, forgiving me. After that, Ashley and I grew closer and managed to return to our old relationship. Eventually, our relationship naturally progressed to dating, and now we live together. Though we both have strong personalities and often argue, our relationship is better than it used to be. And today is Ashley's birthday. I plan to surprise her with a marriage proposal. After having dinner at a restaurant with a beautiful night view, we decided to stay at a hotel. I went to the room where Ashley was waiting, holding a bouquet of 108 roses. The meaning of the 108 roses, of course, is "Will you marry me?" I thought it might be a bit too cheesy, but I went with it. In the room, I had left a dress as a gift for Ashley with a note saying, "I want you to wear this dress." I wondered if she had changed into it as I arrived nervously at the room. When I knocked and entered, there was Ashley, wearing the dress I gifted. "Ryan, thank you for the dress. It's exactly my style," she said. "I'm glad, because I have another present for you." "Really? What is it?" In front of Ashley, intrigued, I held out the bouquet of roses and professed, "Ashley, will you marry me?" Tears streaming down her face, Ashley said, "Yes, I will. Thank you." I couldn't help but think, if I had just trusted her and openly talked about my father's debts and my need to work, maybe I wouldn't have taken such a long detour to get here. But it was that very experience that led me to find and fulfill my dream of becoming a lawyer. Still, I couldn't shake the thought that if I hadn't become a lawyer, maybe Ethan wouldn't have done what he did. He always said he admired me, which made me think this way, but I know dwelling on the past is pointless. The future is uncertain, but now, as a husband to Ashley, I want to trust her words and work together, striving forward side by side.